guys, hopefully you like that little intro into this, what I call the best Altoids Tin survival kit. It's what I've come up with, and I know this isn't as popular an idea, but I thought I would make my contribution because I really did like this idea. Not exactly sure why I never got around to it, but I just wanted to show what mine was like. And really quickly, I did want to note, it wasn't until I started making my own that I got why people put like rubber bands and ranger bands and all those different things around their Altoids tins for extra securement. But the reason why they did that, in case you guys aren't familiar, is when you make an Altoids tin that has too high a set, even if it's just a little bit too high, when you try and press it down, it won't click into its two little places. So you can see this one, this is what it would look like if it didn't. You can see these two different little spots. But as you can see, mine does. And the reason why I want to bring that up is I think that the Altoids Survival Tin or kit was designed for ultra minimalism. Really, how many essential C's of survival could you pack into this? And how smart or clever could you be with designing a kit? And so I wanted to make absolutely no cheats as far as, trying to include an extra rubber band and making it a little bit higher than it actually should be. And as you guys can see here, this is latched. I'll actually take off this glove just so you can see I'm only hanging on to the cap of this. And so this is secured. You cannot see those tabs. This is not protruding high. See, it's actually locked quite well. I find they actually lock quite well even without the like rubber bands around them. With that mini rant aside, actually to get into what I have here, I have 3 or really 4 of the C's of survivability in here if you include this as being a container, which it technically is. But the first off and most prominent is the knife, and you guys will probably note that there is still a clip on here. You guys may or may not like that. Honestly, I found that the clip, I was going to take it off, but when I looked at it, the clip was not interfering with the closure, and it's not like I could have put something realistically in the same spot as this clip. Though, if I was doing this knife was full time being in this kit only, I probably would actually remove the clip just for that little bit of weight savings. But honestly, there's really no interference with this clip, and it doesn't really weigh me down. As you guys can see, I still have quite a bit and actually a little bit of room to spare in here if I wanted to include more. So of course that knife is the Benchmade 556 mini reptilian, and I really wanted a folder for this because in all honesty, you can put a fixed blade in here, but the type of the size of fixed blade you're gonna be able to put in here just won't really be very adequate for doing much. And I understand the strength of a fixed blade, but honestly that fixed blade would be so small that batoning with it would be ridiculous, and even batoning with a knife this small would be pretty ridiculous. So I just gave myself as large an edge as I could really have, and then that I could actually use this for dressing game animals, processing food, or just doing anything I needed to do. And this knife has actually been, for me personally, a pretty good outdoors knife. I have actually dressed a squirrel or field dressed a squirrel with this knife before. It's actually really good at doing it, surprisingly, for an EDC knife. And so this knife does make a very good outdoor knife, and I would not be sad if this was what I had to rely on, at least in a kit this small. I would not be disappointed by this knife. So the next piece is just a roll of duct tape. I forget how many exact feet here it is. I believe it's around 20 feet, but it might be 10. Once again, I've had this for so long, I've really forgot how much duct tape this is, but it's anywhere from 10 to 20 feet, and I was gonna put paracord in here, but in all honesty, the paracord just ended up taking up too much room. So I wanted to do something that would have around 20 feet, but that could still be put in here, plus the different things that duct tape is good for. You can burn it, it burns very well. You can cut it down to different sizes, you can braid it. Duct tape is a very handy thing to have. So in compromising with paracord, I think duct tape was my it was only the only thing that I really wanted to have as a compromise. And once again, this roll fits very well in there, and I think it's very good. On to the next thing in here. You guys are probably wondering what in the world this is. And this kind of goes back to that multifunctional piece. This is an Exotac Nano Striker XL ferro rod. And in the theme of just keeping multi-purpose, doing multiple things, I didn't want to just put a regular handle on it for size, weight, and just many other reasons. And usefulness. Size, weight, usefulness. I actually took a piece of birch polypore, and that's what this handle is made out of. It's when the stuff, if you guys are familiar with it, you'll know that when this stuff hardens or when the moisture leaves polypore, it gets extremely stiff. So it makes an excellent handle for especially things like a striker, or a ferro rod like this, and it has worked really well. Originally, I wanted to do this out of chaga so that I could carry a little bit of extra chaga with the ferro rod. And if you guys don't know, chaga is true tender fungus. It's very. I just wanted the plain. I'm gonna still let it pass a little bit more. But chaga is very flammable, and it holds a ember for a very long time, and that's why I actually have a few pieces of it in here. But the problem with chaga, if you guys once again have worked with it, you'll know that it cracks very easily. So of course, when you start putting pressure down on the ferro rod to strike it, yeah, the handle just cracked. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but this handle is very nice. And once again, with polypore, you can boil this in water. Boil this piece of polypore in water for many good reasons and good immune boosters. So it's a nice little multifunctional piece, and I really like these Exotac, especially the Nano Striker, but really all of the Exotac replacement ferro rods, because they come threaded. It allows you to drill out materials such as polypore and just thread ferro rods right into them. This also includes wood. I'd really recommend, if you guys like to make your own handles for ferro rods, definitely look at the Exotac line, because the threads tend to be a lot better and a lot more secure than gluing ferro rods in. So that has been my Altoids survival kit. Once again, these are 2 pieces of chaga. I did originally try and put some aspen inner bark in here, but to fit a realistic enough amount, there was just not enough room in here. And the problem with aspen inner bark is, much like any flash tinder, it goes up very fast, so you need at least a small handful of it for it to be at all useful. But it's something that I know I could easily gain from the woods, so it wasn't like I was really upset to not have that included. I could easily make up for it by just finding it in the woods. So anyways, guys, hopefully that's been entertaining. There are a lot like other people, especially with the duct tape and the knife, but I don't think I've seen anyone else with the Altoids Survival Tin or kit that actually made such a customized kind of handle for their ferro rods. So anyways, guys, that has been my kit, and I'm out.